John, how have you been?
You know, I was going to buy you a camera, but I don't know if Colleen would approve it.
I know, she's right there too.
She's ignoring it. He didn't have the right one. Colleen, last chance. Can we get Eric a new camera?
I know. Are you ready?
It's about time.
Okay, great. That one, this one.
That's a guy. K-R-I-S-T-I. Thank you.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, this is great. Great turnout.
Brings back some great memories.
Yeah. Thanks, John.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Great
appreciate
seeing you.
it. Yeah, good to see you. Chief.
We're not gonna see you otherwise.
Okay.
So we just came to.
Thank you, Chief.
See you,
Ed.
Just to say
Thank you.
hi. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Thank you, Ed.
What a great crowd. I'm
Yeah,
surprised.
this is awesome.
What?
You want to be on C-SPAN? Hi.
How are you? How are you? Eric? Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
There's a big line to buy the book, so we didn't
Oh,
buy
okay.
it quite yet. But I thought I bought one when you sent me the link for pre-ordering it, but maybe not.
Oh, is it on the way? So it must be
Well, I
coming.
thought I did, and then now I'm realizing I didn't get it, so
Yeah.
probably not.
Yeah.
We'll just go get it. Anyway.
Well, thanks for turning out.
So is this
Yeah.
how it usually is?
You know, this one, I've had different kinds of events, and this one's probably the best so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a
But-
huge line outside. Like,
The first one we've had beer and wine at, so I think that's why it's probably a good turnout.
no, it's a long line outside.
Really?
Too.
Wow.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, great to see you.
First of all, my name is David Almosy. I work here at Edelman, and thank you so much for coming out to support a good friend, Eric, and his launch of the new book, Front Row Seat. I, in the Bush administration, had the honor and privilege of running the White House website, so I often refer to whitehouse.gov. Every morning we started with the site. Obviously, it was almost like a blank slate because it was waiting for the content of the day, and whether it was text or video or audio, what have you. But I was told, Eric, that the photos were like the paint every day that kind of filled the day, that helped tell the story of the George W. Bush presidency. So it's so good to see so many former colleagues, and it's really a pleasure for Edelman to host the event here tonight. And with that, I'd like to introduce Anita McBride, former Chief of Staff to Mrs. Laura Bush.
Okay.
Well, good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for coming. This has been an incredible turnout. And in fact, Eric, as you know, he was on Fox News as one of his interviews. And I went on Facebook and I said, Eric, when are you going to do your party in Washington? And he responded right back, would you be willing to host it? So it got this chain going, and all of us with David, thank you so much for hosting us here at Edelman, and Brian McCormick, who helped, of course, share the list, and all the co-hosts that are here, Olga, and I don't want to start with names, Scotty, everybody, because I will forget all 30 of you that were willing to support this, and also your books are out front. So we thank you so much for doing that. We know that we had an incredible turnout. We could fit about 200 people. We had responses, as you know, beyond a waiting list. So we know we've run out of books. I was just told, however,
Wow.
we were prepared that that was possible. You can still order the books. And Eric will sign. These are book plates. They're nice and big. They're beautiful. They'll go on that page where he's signing. He will still sign these tonight. You can take these. Your book comes, and these will be in your book, because we don't want you to wait anymore. The books are selling out like crazy everywhere that they're on sale. So we're so proud of you, Eric. You've been great. President Bush, you've been great to Mrs. Bush. You know, all the photographers that were on the staff that supported us as well. For 8 years. So we congratulate
Thank you.
and look at this incredible turnout.
Yeah, this is great. Thank you.
Oh, yes. Oh, okay. And okay, for those who, especially those that were waiting outside, please, if you can get to the refreshments, you have earned it. There's beer and wine sponsor. We have wonderful sponsors who supported us, Jim Dyke with the wine, and Rebecca Spicer, who supported us with the beer that's here. So we thank them as co-hosts for making it possible for us to enjoy a lovely evening. So thank you all.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I want to thank David for hosting the event, and it's overwhelming to see everyone here. And then most of all, Anita, for responding. And I'm so glad I got that message from you. And wonderful. And I mean, I can't thank you enough for you to do this for me. I really appreciate it. And you know, I never thought that something like this can happen to someone like me, an ordinary guy. But all of you out there, especially the folks that worked for the administration, I need to thank you all because you helped me with my success, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I'm overwhelmed, and what I'd like to do, which I'm more comfortable behind the camera than in front of the camera, I'd like to show you some photos. It's a quick little presentation, and what I decided to do was to take a favorite photo from each chapter, because one of the questions I get a lot is, what's your favorite photo? Well, I'll pick a photo from each chapter, starting with Chapter 1. And this chapter is called The Beginning. And a lot of you who know President Bush remember how timely he is. And we know how timely he is because he started his meetings on time or early, typically early. And so this is a great illustration. This picture was made the first week of the administration. And obviously the VP's in sync with the president, which is great. Chapter 2, this chapter is called Life in the Bubble. And by the way, this is not representative of the relationship with the president and Mrs. Bush. Don't get me in trouble, okay? Let me set the stage here. This is inside Buckingham Palace, and the president and Mrs. Bush are actually kind of clowning around for the camera for me. So, and this really helps show that the president had a great sense of humor. And Buckingham Palace is like the White House, but bigger, as you can see. Chapter 3 is called Family. And whenever the two presidents were together, for me, it was like a magical moment. First of all, you have the history. The only second son of a president to become president. And one of the first things I learned was whenever you say Mr. President around them, they both turn around. So I had to learn, refer to them as President 41, President 43. Chapter 4, the Western White House. And this is probably one of my favorite photos in the book. And this is a great illustration of the president on the ranch, proud Texan. And something about this picture you can't really see, but Barney is sitting on his lap. And we'll all miss Barney. Chapter 5 is on 9/11. And this moment here is very critical. And you might notice there's a clock on the wall there. It's around 9:25. And the president was so focused on gathering information, gathering his thoughts, for preparing for a statement to the country and to the world. And at this moment, on the television, they're replaying the video of the second tower getting hit and that horrific image of the fireball. And we hadn't seen it at this stage, at this time. And so Dan Bartlett alerted everyone in the room at this stage. And the president turned around and saw that horrific image that's burned into everyone's memory. Chapter 6, War President. And this moment, in terms of intensity, is probably, obviously 9/11 was off the charts, but this was the moments after the president decided to commit troops to Iraq. He made that decision in the Situation Room just moments earlier, before this moment. And I photographed the beginning of the meeting, and I photographed the president walking around the South Lawn. And I noticed that he was very emotional, and I knew something was big. I didn't know exactly what was happening. So I made this image, and you can see the weight of that decision still on his face. And the president actually spoke to me right after I made this picture. And he said, "Eric, are you interested in history?" And all I could say was, "Yes, sir." And he said, "The pictures you're making are very important. The one in the Situation Room and the one here on the South Lawn." And just as he said that, out of the corner of my eye,